Most of us want to be successful. It's unfortunate most people are never taught how to be, and they equate success with money. By definition in itself, that is a failure.
Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to another episode of the Evolution Podcast. And today on the show, as usual, we have Ethan P. Heisey.
Hey everybody, good to be here.
And I'm Sagi Schreiber and our mentor, Mr. Johnson.
Hey guys, how are you? I hope everyone's doing super fantastic. We're looking forward to a very good podcast today. I think you'll enjoy it immensely.
I'm pretty sure of it because you told us, Mr. J, that today you wanted to talk about a big topic, which is how to change your life. And
Yes.
So stage is yours.
Okay. Well, guys, first of all, thanks for listening as always. And I hope that all of you are well. And if you're not well, how can you get well? Today's topic is simple. How do I change my life? There are many, many paths one can take to change their life. So by no means am I trying to imply that my way is the only way. By no means, that's not the case. However, I will lay out today some practical steps you should take to change your life. Now, I want you to understand what I'm about to tell you. Some of you might agree with, some of you may not, and that's neither here or there, but I just want you to leave something open for the art of the possible. Is there any validity to what Mr. Johnson is telling us? Is there any validity to what this gentleman is saying? Well, this is the first thing we want to do is I want you to understand what you are. Before I give you some steps on do this, that, and the third, I need you to understand what you are. What are you? Are you a human being? This is what they tell you. You're a human being. The word hue means color. And hue of night, being, human being. We are all colored beings, if you will. We all die. We are all born. We all have a soul. We all have imagination. We all have two great gifts, the ability of speech and mind. No other creature upon this planet has these abilities to the extent that we have. We have the ability to communicate with each other through our speech. And through our minds, we can create great monstrosities, great buildings, ships, planes, make great food factories and feed millions of people daily, produce great medicines and heal and treat sickness and disease. We build great colossal stadiums for entertainment purposes, for football and soccer and basketball. We have huge educational systems, central banking systems, this whole world in which you find yourself existing. What does this have to do with you changing your life? The first thing you have to understand that you are here for a reason. You are not an accident. You're not some random equation with some variable and some formula. You are here for a purpose. Unfortunately, most of us will never find that or regret that we don't put the effort. The way you're going to change your life is simple. You're going to find out who and what you are. Now, how do I do this? How do I change, Mr. Johnson? What really must I do? But the concept of change is simple. However, changing is not. We are creatures of habits. And the most damaging habit is the habit of bad thoughts, habitual thinking negative, not thinking correctly, not understanding the power of one's thoughts, not understanding why you have an imagination and why you have the gift of speech. So today, hopefully, I will enlighten you in some way that you will be able to use these things consistently to change your life. Now, the first thing you're going to have to understand is the inner man or woman inside of you, the person that is inside of you that I don't know, that no one knows but you. You know who I'm talking about. The one that you speak to and hears you, even though you don't use your ears, the one that you speak to you don't move your mouth. It is the inner you, the inner conversation you are having with yourself. Now, most people probably won't believe this, but if everything is mind and everything that you see is a product of mind, then you are part of that great mind itself. The course of life, the ebb and flow of it. Now, you change your life first and foremost by changing your inner conversation. The great Bible says this: put off the old man and put on the new man. You must change. Now, how do I do this? The first thing you're going to start to do is to change what you say to yourself. This is of grave importance. But when you wake up every morning, the only one in your mind is you, just you alone. And what you tell yourself consistently with feeling and emotion and intent is what you folks call today manifestation. Don't you see that your outside world is your inside world pushed out of you? This is the truth. You're creating it. And I need you to understand this in the deepest way possible. Your mind is the gateway to it. There is a reason we're all born and our heads come out first. There is a reason this is called the crown, if you will. I assure you that you have the ability to change your life, but the first thing you're going to have to do is to change your speech. Change what you say to yourself. Each of you have the ability, as most young folks say today, to speak things into existence. This is true, but the biblical principle is simple. You call the things that are not as though they were. Faith with works equals manifestation. Anything other than faith and work equaling manifestation would be deemed a miracle, which do happen as well, believe me. But for most people, it will require those two things, some level of faith and some level of work. Now, the work that I am referencing is not the work in which you find your hand to make your living. It's not the work I'm talking about. The work I am referencing is the work upon yourself. Think about it deeply. You're only here for a limited period of time. You're born, and then the day you're born, you're on the pathway of dying. This is the truth. Most people don't think about this, and I understand it could be somewhat difficult. But nevertheless, it doesn't negate the fact that it's the truth. How do I change my life? Change what you say to yourself, number one. Number two, you got to know what you want. Write your vision down and make it plain. What do you want? You know, I mentor many people. People think I want to hear a bunch of problems. I'm not here to solve your problems. I'm here to fix you, because you're the one that's going to solve your problems. You're going to fix your life. It's your life. You're responsible for it, and no one else ever. It is entirely up to you. The first thing you're going to do, I hope you're writing this information down. And if not, go back and listen to it again. Change what you say to yourself. Stop beating yourself up. You must understand you're programmed to do this to yourself. Everything you see is a product of mind, the division, the war, the poverty, everything. But you, my friend, have the ability to create the life you want. Change what you say. Number two, write down what you want. Number three, don't sell yourself short. Unfortunately, most people have low self-esteem. They confuse self-esteem with arrogance. No, I am not saying to think highly of yourself like you float above people, but one must have a high standard of oneself. This is a crucial element for your success. If you hang around 9 broke people, you make the 10th one. It's just that simple. You show me your friends, I will show you your future. Be careful who you hang yourself around, who you find yourself engaging with. We are spiritual beings. There is a great deal of energy transferring throughout all of us every day. We hide that under the umbrella of the word called feelings or emotions, how we feel. This is another thing. Write it down, what you say to yourself, know what you want, high self-esteem. Now, here's the most crucial thing, your feelings, your emotions. How do you feel? Most people do not feel good. And that's not to say that you should feel good all the time, but the majority of the time you should feel good. Most people don't feel good. Ask them, how are you doing? Oh, I'm making it, or I'm okay. They're not excited about being alive. You know, even a live dog is better off than a dead lion. Do not take your life for granted. Each day you wake up, to the best of your ability, be grateful for what you have. There are certain ancient principles that are just laws that operate, i.e. the law of gravity. You see the wind, but you don't know where it comes from, nor do you know where it's going, but you feel it. You know it exists. The things I'm telling you exist inside of you. To look outside of yourself for your solution is to look in vain. All answers will come from within. How do I change my life? What are you saying to yourself about yourself? Don't beat yourself up, build yourself up. Number 2, what do I want? I mean, really. And don't sell yourself short. My goodness, for what? What good does it do the world to make yourself small? What good does it do? You're afraid. And for you, believe it or not, a lot of people fear a lot of things, and that's okay. Having courage is not the absence of fear. Having courage is doing what you need to do in spite of that fear. So it doesn't make you abnormal, it makes you very much normal. Remember that. Have courage. You must be bold. Lastly, how you feel. How do you feel about your life? Or are you wearing the masks, as I've done for many years in my career? You go alone to get along. You want to fit in. You want to be socially acceptable. You want to be considered the oddball, the geek, the black sheep, the one out, But I've learned something as I gotten older. The rich and the poor, the most beautiful woman and the most wealthiest of men have all this in common. We're all heading to the grave, whether you are happy or successful, whether you are educated, whether you are young or old, it doesn't matter. All of us are going to go to this place. And so if that be true, live. Change your life. It is your responsibility. You can do it. How do I do it? Through repetition. You do it over and over until you believe it. So I have more to come, but I know we're doing these 2 20-minute segments, so I hope that helps you.
Love it. I mean, we do have about 10 more minutes. One of the things that I definitely can take it wherever you want, but one of the things that you tell me, and Ethan, I don't know if Mr. J tells that to you as well. Sometimes I speak to him and then Mr. J is like, Sagi, have you noticed the way you speak? I'm like, I haven't noticed anything special. What did I just say? And it's like, you just said, this and that. And this is like an I am statement that is so crucial. And I didn't, the speech thing for me, I think, is one of the biggest takeaways.
Well, we don't understand the power of our word. Listen. Religion gets such a bad rap, man. It's terrible. Because there's so much we can learn from it. Now, man has corrupted it and threw it all in the mud and twisted it for their own evil gain. And I get why people would tend to shy away from it. I really do. But I would be less than solid as a man to say that there's no validity to it, because that's not true. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word became flesh. You are the embodiment of that. We all are.
Yeah.
We have this ability. We can create beautiful things. We can create symphonies and orchestras, and you can have people from all over the world come together and accomplish great, wonderful things. And yet there's a darkness to us. We do horrible things to one another. No one talks about it. No one wants to address it. You can't sweep it under the rug. How can you expect good things to happen to you and ignore the evil that exists around you? This makes you a fool. That doesn't mean you have to be absorbed with it, nor can you have a good life. But isn't fullness and completeness in all things, or just some things? Mr. Johnson wants us to be full and whole, complete, not just a lover of money and materialism. Those things are fleeting, and none of those things can you put in your casket. But your memories, your experiences, your life, your words, what you do, who you become, how you did it. Are you really a good person? Most people aren't as kind as they profess themselves to be. It's just the truth. It's simple. My life changed when I did. My life got better when I got better. I had to unlearn a lot of things. A lot of us are taught wrong. And when you're taught wrong, you think wrong. And when you think wrong, you get the wrong answer. And it's not until you get older in life that you realize a lot of the things that were shared with you were inaccurate. It wasn't true. That's why you shouldn't have a mentor for 2 weeks. You should have a mentor for life, especially someone who's older than you. Life can be fickle and difficult and filled with challenges, even with wealth. I assure you these things are the truth. But nevertheless, how you see yourself, how you treat others, how you feel, the words you use, the way you articulate yourself, your vocabulary, your vernacular, the way you think. Most of us want to be successful. It's unfortunate most people are never taught how to be, and they equate success with money. By definition in itself, that is a failure. How many people with money still wound up divorced and bankrupt or, on drugs or whatever, strung out? Money is not the answer in that regard. However, money is the answer of all things. If you need a lung transplant and you got enough money, you can get it. It's just the truth. You have to become wise. You should gain wisdom. Wisdom is what you need. Wisdom will save your life. I'm going to say that to all of you who are listening, particularly with young people, because young people never see themselves becoming older. They see themselves as young. But I can assure you, Father Time is undefeated. Time is fixed. You're just moving through time. And hence your life has a certain amount of time before its life is extinguished. So why are you here? You're here to master the great word that is within you. Remember the 2 gifts, thought and speech. You're here to master that, your words. Your words create emotions. Your emotions, your feelings. What you feel, you radiate. It's true. Cleanse your mind. Do not beat yourself up. Forgive yourself. This is another big problem with a lot of people. Listen, everybody screws up. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's done something that they maybe not be proud of. All of us have. But you can forgive yourself and you can recover from those things, whatever it might be. Maybe someone listening needs to hear that today. You can recover. Just because you got knocked down doesn't mean you can't get back up. You have to fight for your life. It requires effort. I mean, again, I can go on, but these things are just true facts. Speak that what you desire into your life. Believe that you have it. Now, how do I do that? I'll tell you a secret. Many people say they believe, but I often ask them, what does believing look like? If you believe something, what would it really look like if you believed it? And then I find silence. They don't say anything, but let me give you an example of what it would look like to me if you believe something. Let us suppose that you say, I am a successful CEO of a company. Well, in your mind's eye, what does that individual look like? How would that person talk, walk, dress? Where would they go? How would they behave? What are their mannerisms? What's their character like? You see, there lies the secret of all change. Become that which you see in your mind now. All you have is now. Tomorrow never comes, but tomorrow is always today, and today is always yesterday. So all you ever have is the present, and that's why it's considered a gift. Everything starts now, and in time, as with any seed, you will see the fruits of your words, and you will see that you have a great ability like a God. And when a man and a woman truly understand this, they're nothing short of the immortals. You can create whatever you want if you believe it. And that's what it's predicated on. And that's, my friends, is simply the truth. Nothing in this world exists without someone first believing that they can get it done. So when you go outside and you see the skyscrapers and the bridges and the Teslas and the street lights and the pavement on the roads and all those condominiums that you see, at one time they were all trees there.
Yeah.
But in the mind of man, he saw it in his mind's eye. And in time, with faith and with effort, what he saw in his mind, he made materialize into this reality. And all of us possess that same ability. I hope it helps.
Love it. With that note, we will wrap up this episode, which is, Ethan, do you want to have anything last, to say on the episode?
I think that was a great way to end it.
Definitely.
Well, I appreciate that. On to the next one.
Awesome, guys. So thank you so much for being here with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to share it on Apple Podcasts. Just rate us there and write a review, or on Spotify, you can rate us there, or just send it to someone that you care about and you think will have will gain value from listening to us talk to Mr. J and asking him our questions in our businesses and daily lives. I think there's so much truth that was shared in this episode. It was kind of like, for me, it felt kind of like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, kind of like just in 20 minutes. it was so much wisdom. Everything obviously comes out of your own experience. It's amazing. So thank you so much, guys. See you on the next episode.